Welcome back, everybody, to the show. Luke Beasley here, filling in for David while he is away. You can find me at Luke Beasley on YouTube. I have a moment here for you from Fox News that is so ridiculous, my goodness. So prepare yourself. Responding to what this Fox News contributor is responding to is President Biden doing an interview on the Weather Channel. And it makes sense that he would do this type of interview on the Weather Channel. It has to do with his visit to the Grand Canyon and a decision he's made on that front. But in response to this interview, this Fox News contributor, Charlie Hurt, floats such a bonkers theory about why Biden went on the Weather Channel. So that's what we'll get to. But first, the context on this from ABC News. Biden creates new national monument near Grand Canyon, citing tribal heritage and climate concerns. Declaring it good not only for Arizona, but for the planet, President Joe Biden on Tuesday signed a national monument designation for the greater Grand Canyon, turning the decades-long visions of Native American tribes and environmentalists into reality. Coming as Biden is on a 3-state Western trip, the move will help preserve about 1,562 square miles just to the north and south of Grand Canyon National Park. It encompasses canyons, plateaus, and tributaries that feed a range of plants and wildlife, including bison, elk, desert, bighorn sheep, and rare species of cactus, and is Biden's 5th monument designation. So there we go. And it makes sense that kind of within that context, he might go on the Weather Channel and discuss this, making environmentalists happy with this action and Native American tribes. Great, great, great. But that's not how Charlie Hurt on Fox News perceived this. Instead, he said this.
But the whole thing, I think, was a laugh and a wink and trying to make a mockery of the fact that, if you remember, Dan Goldman said that the only thing that Joe Biden talked about with Hunter Biden and all of his business partners was the weather. And so I think that this is a secret signal to all of the business partners that we're going to stick with the story about the weather.
Now, Jesse Waters is laughing, which makes it sound more reasonable, as if they're both in on this joke. But Charlie Hurt seems sort of serious.
And if you get asked anything about it, if you get hauled before a committee in Congress to answer it, just say we talked about the weather.
The bat signal's gone out, and this is why
Exactly.
he can't answer questions. Because our very own stupid son of a bitch, Peter Doocy, jumped a fence.
Okay. And then they move on to something related. So if you didn't catch it there, he's saying that because of some details I'll get to from a recent testimony as a part of the House Oversight Committee with Devin Archer, the former business associate of Hunter Biden, this was the bat signal, an indication to all those in on the Biden bribery scheme conspiracy to say, Biden only ever talked with his son about the weather. That's the only subject that came up. And yikes. It is the sign of someone who has centered their whole world around the Hunter Biden, Joe Biden bribery scheme that they haven't been able to provide evidence to prove. And then everything becomes a part of that. And everything points back to that. And we've seen every time a Trump indictment takes place, they'll say this was to distract from the Hunter Biden stuff. And at one point, the Titan submersible was apparently supposed to distract from the Hunter Biden stuff. Everything connects to the Hunter Biden story. That, again, isn't at this point in time really the story they tell us that it is, because they fail time and time again, House Republicans that is, to prove their claims. And what he's referencing there, the Devin Archer testimony, again, Hunter Biden, his former business associate is named Devin Archer, and he went in front of the House Oversight Committee and testified to the reality that while absolutely Biden called with his son very often, especially after Beau Biden passed away, and this would be a daily occurrence. And because it was a daily occurrence, sometimes I think it was 20 times over a decade or something like that, if business associates were around during this daily call, Hunter Biden, probably even to impress them, would put Joe Biden on speakerphone and he would say hello. But explicitly, Devin Archer said never did business dealings come up. It would be small talk. It would be the weather. And so there, Charlie Hurt saying, see, this is the way they're going to cover for Biden now. He's doing an interview on the Weather Channel so that everyone knows, say we only talked about the weather. Even though all of the actual solid evidence we have proves that is what this is. When you talk about the connection between Hunter Biden and Joe Biden, it was unrelated to business dealings because of the position that Biden had. But what I find really aggravating about these types of stories is that there are more real, meaningful conversations that could be had on networks like Fox News on the subject that they're on, but they could go in a different direction and have a more meaningful conversation. So with this, his interview on the Weather Channel, there actually was an interesting moment that we could have a policy discussion about when it comes to Biden's actions and response to climate change, which is this.
With the Weather Channel, I had a chance to speak with President Biden about why he hasn't declared a climate crisis a national emergency. Mr. President, you called climate change a code red for humanity. The World Health Organization said it will cause an additional 250,000 deaths a year starting in 2030. Are you prepared to declare a national emergency with respect to climate change?
I've already done that. We've conserved more land. We've we've rejoined the Paris Climate Accord. We've passed a $368 billion climate control facility. We're moving. It is the existential threat to humanity.
So you've already declared that national emergency?
Well, in the practice, you got a bug on you.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate it. So you've already declared that national emergency?
Practically speaking, yes.
Yeah. Now, declaring a national emergency on climate change would unlock temporary executive powers to ramp up renewable productions and also pull back on activities such as oil drilling and also fossil fuel investment. It would also free up federal funds for disaster relief. Despite requests from some Democratic leaders, the president has not yet declared.
So there, instead of, hey, maybe he went on the Weather Channel to tell other criminals in his criminal conspiracy or whatever to use weather as the excuse or the justification for these phone calls, or the topic of the phone calls, I should say, we could be having a debate. Should Biden have declared a national state of emergency in the United States because of climate change? And then he would be able to access more resources as president to respond to it. Or is it not time to do that? Is it or is it not? That's an interesting conversation we could have, and there could be a good faith discussion about. We could also include, all right, let's look through what Biden has done to respond to climate change. Good. And then where he's failed. The Inflation Reduction Act being a really strong step in the correct direction, and cutting carbon emissions by a very significant amount, and investing in green energy more than we've seen in the history of the United States. But then also approving the Willow Project, that being a step in the wrong direction. And these are the types of conversations that could be had if we weren't spending so much time debunking claims and theories like what we just watched there.
48 million Americans have some hearing loss. So if you or a loved one is struggling with hearing loss, you are certainly not alone. Only 1 in 5 people who would benefit from a hearing aid actually get a hearing aid. Our sponsor, MD Hearing, specializes in FDA-registered rechargeable hearing aids at a fraction of the cost. Marked up hearing aids at an in-person hearing clinic can cost up to $10,000. At MD Hearing, you'll pay just $300. They perform incredibly well. I have a family friend who's tried a variety of hearing aids. She recently switched to MD Hearing, couldn't be happier, loves them. You take their free online hearing test. Their world-class team of licensed audiologists will advise you how to set up your device. Your audiologist is there to provide ongoing support by video call or text. And MD Hearing's new model, the Neo, is their smallest hearing aid ever. No one will even know it's there. Simply go to mdhearing.com, use the code PACMAN to get any pair of hearing aids for just $150 each. They will throw in a free charging case. The link is down below.